All right. This is the type of shit that I see, and I'm just like, bruh, what? And I know so this is a reaction video, all right? And I see people with their opinions about what business means, and it's just tragic to me. And to me, it's just like, it's frustrating because people are so strong, but they're so strong in their ignorance of what actually needs to be done, right? And what it actually takes to do business. So, um, this comes from, I saw a tweet yesterday, and this is what it said, and then I'll give you my reaction. So, this tweet says, if I lost my income, employment, why would I take my only source of income, unemployment, and gamble it on creating some business, in quotations, during a pandemic? When businesses, especially small ones in normal economies, take years and years, if they last that long, to become profitable. Also, assuming you didn't eat, have assuming you didn't eat, have a medical expense, or pay any bills, what the fuck are you starting with $2,400 that is going to be scalable instantly that will make you money? Bruh, let's just break this shit down. All right. First and foremost, the first thing I take from this is, dude, if you just lost your employment and you're relying on unemployment for your income, and you're living in a time during a pandemic where employment is not that easy to find because a lot of brick and mortar businesses are closed, why the fuck would you rely on that? And your unemployment, excuse me, and your unemployment check, has a time limit on it. Why the fuck would you just sit there with it? What are you gonna do with it? Keep spending it on the same shit that you were spending when you had a job? Like, no. Like, that doesn't even make sense. You gotta at least try to flip the unemployment and make something for yourself, so that in the time that it takes you to find another job, and the time that it takes the in-person economy to recover, you have some sort of income to, feed yourself, buy diapers, or buy gas for your car, or pay for your Netflix subscription. Like, what? Like, if think about that. You're already stuck. You might as well use what you have to try to make something more. Why would you sit there being stuck? That don't even make sense. And then another thing too is like, this is that misconception where people's thought patterns are taught old principles and limiting beliefs that no longer apply, right? So this sentence here, when businesses, especially small ones in normal economies, take years and years, if they last that long, to become profitable. First of all, that shit's not even as true anymore because of the internet. The internet is scalable because you can instantly grab anybody's attention and convert it at any time. There's no store hours of, yeah, we open at 9 and close at 9, right? Like, no, your online business is open 24/7. Run that shit. So somebody's attention somewhere around the world is constantly available for you to catch. It's swimming around. You just got to reel it in. If you're asleep in New York, somebody's up in LA. And when they're asleep, somebody's up in Indonesia. And when they're asleep, somebody's up in Asia. And when they're asleep, you're back up in New York. The world doesn't sleep. The world doesn't stop when you stop. So like, your business, if it's online, doesn't stop when you stop. That's the whole point of online business, right? And the worst part is, this shit has 71,000 likes and 16,000 retweets. And it was just tweeted yesterday, right? This is how many people have a poor mindset about what business means, right? About money, period, right? Because again, Why would you be in a position where you're stuck and not do anything to get yourself out of that position? What else are you going to use your income on? You're going to use your income to spice up your resume? You don't need income for that, to supplement that. You're going to use income to buy a new tie so that your next job interview can go well? You don't need additional income for that. Like, how much are you going to spend on the tie? You got over $2,000. What are you going to do with it? Continue just feeding your expenses? And then he gives the example of assuming you didn't eat, have medical expenses, or pay any bills. He still thinks $2,400 is too small, right? So I broke it down, right? Because people think it's way too complicated. And if you're watching this and I just agitated you because you think it's complicated as well, I'm about to simplify it for you, so just hold on. So answering, and I'm like, okay, so first off, this whole idea that you can't make money in the pandemic and people aren't buying in the pandemic. Like this one guy said, let me see what he said. So this one guy or girl, I don't know. It's one of those anonymous people. So this one person said, you are missing the point and people are not spending money during this pandemic outside of food and entertainment. Businesses are going down by the day or barely hanging on right now. That's bullshit. That's complete and utter bullshit. I personally know of a jewelry brand that has almost doubled their business during the pandemic, right? Over 100K a month. I personally know of a hair care brand that has went from like $10,000 a month to over $100,000 a month consistently during the pandemic, right? This all happened in 2020. I know of a feminine wellness brand that is doing over 100K a month during the pandemic. They're going up, not going down. Those are businesses I personally know of, right? Think about the businesses you personally know of, right? That everybody knows of. Amazon got richer, right? Why did Amazon got richer? Why did Amazon get richer, right? Why did Amazon business pick up? Because people are home and they're not just spending their money on food and entertainment. You got to realize people have spending issues. People are addicted to spending their money because they have a mindset of, oh, I earned it, so I get to spend it now. They are going to continue buying whatever they want as long as they have money, right? As long as they have a little cash in their pocket, they're going to spend it. It doesn't matter. People don't think logically about their expenses. Why do you think budgeting is such a huge problem? Why do you think debt is such a huge problem? People have a spending issue, right? And clearly, a lot of people have an income issue as well with the way they think about income. So first things first, the opportunity in the pandemic is like huge. People are stuck at home. They have money to spend, whether it's from employment or unemployment, right? They have money to spend. They're bored. They can't. Here's why they have money to spend, right? Regardless of whether employed or unemployed, right? They're still making some money. They still have income, but they can't go out to all their favorite restaurants like they usually do. They can't go to bars and waste their money on bars, right? They can't go and spend their money how they would usually spend their money, right? They can't do that in-person spending. So you know what happens? They sit at home in a chair just like this one or on a couch just like that one, and they rack up their card. They spend the money anyway. They're not just saving money. No. People don't think logically like that. They're spending their money. So these businesses are going up. So first of all, the opportunity is there. So that's why you would create a business, right? Opportunity is there. That's when you create business. You capitalize on opportunity. That's what it is. So another thing too is if you're viewing gambling, if you're making business and gambling synonymous, then that just means you have a lack of understanding of your customers, right? Your potential customers. And that also means that you have a lack of strategy, which means that if you're consumed by the idea of I'm gambling this money away, then you seriously need to take a step back and take some time to think about strategy more. I'm an advocate for diving headfirst and failing forward, but like, don't fail forward in a dumb way, especially if you're on a budget. Like, take the time, right? So, like, and another thing you need to learn about if you're making business and gambling synonymous is your thoughts on loss. Is like, if you go to a casino and you gamble, right? Then that's literally gamble. Like, you're putting it up to the odds, right? And if you go into business and you put your money into it and you lose it, that's money invested. That's tuition. That's like, okay, it teaches you clear lessons because you have feedback, right? You're not putting it up to the odds. You're putting it into a system, and the system is telling you if it works or not. Now you go back into the system, tweak it, and try again. You control the systems. How is it gambling if you control the systems? If anything, if you want to relate it to gambling, you're the house. You win more than you don't, as long as you set up the correct system. You're not gambling your money. You're learning. You're paying tuition. And another thing is, like, learn about lean business. Like, this whole concept of businesses take years and years and years to become profitable. No, that's an old concept. That concept comes from having a brick and mortar business, which means you need to pay rent, right? You need to pay rent. You need to pay employees to inhabit the space, and you need to pay for the floor inventory and possibly backroom inventory, right? And then all the bills associated with leasing the space that you're in, right? That's a lot of expenses. That's a lot of overhead. It's 2020. We have online businesses now. What does that mean? That means there is no rent. Your rent is $30 on Shopify a month. Can you afford $30 fucking? Yes, you can. I promise you can afford $30. So if you can afford to be watching this video on a phone right now, you can afford $30. I promise you that. So, whatchamacallit? So your rent is $30 a month, right? That's it, right? Look at that big ass overhead cost that just went from upwards of $1,000 to $30, right? Then what else do you have? What other expenses do you have? You don't have to pay any employees, especially if you're just starting out. You shouldn't, because you don't even know what to teach your employees. And if your employees have improper training, then your business is gonna fucking suck. So you don't have the employee expense, which is another. Payroll is a huge expense, right? You don't have paying the light bill and gas bill and whatever bills that come along with leasing the space that you're in, right? You don't have to hold inventory, right? You can use fulfillment services, right? They have tons of fulfillment centers. Amazon being one of them, but they have independent fulfillment centers, right? So all this, it can take your business years and years to profit. It's like, no, that whole break-even concept does not hold the same weight that it used to. Like, it's just not true. So let me break it down like this, right? To make this easily digestible. So let me give you a quick cheat sheet, right? Here's how you start a business without having any products. And this is what you can put your $2,000 a month into growing, right? You don't have any products. You can't afford to buy $5,000 worth of product. You don't have space inventory, all this, blah, blah, blah. Cool, I got you. I got a quick fix. Digital products. I guarantee you, if you're watching this right now, I guarantee you know something that somebody else doesn't know how to do. You know how to do something that somebody else needs help doing. Document it, package it online for free, put it on a website, and sell it to people. You don't even have to put it on a website. Like, document it, and sell it to people. You're gonna help them do something. Like if you're 15 years old, if you're 20 years old, if you're 40 years old, you have years and millions of little moments of experience to teach you how to do something that somebody else doesn't know how to do. The only requirement for that is your biggest resource. You don't need investors. You've invested just by living and experiencing. You've invested by just living and experiencing life. You have so much information. That's valuable, right? So take from that information, figure out, tune into yourself. What do I know how to do that somebody else might not know how to do? Ask the people around you. Ask questions. You're going to find something, right? And when you do, and you sell it, right? Package it, sell it, let's say for $25, right? And if you're going to object me on $25 is not a lot of money. Think about how much people spend on weed on a daily basis, even on a weekly basis. At least $35. They spend $100 a month on a plant for short-term gratification, right? So like, if people will easily spend that, right? Think about how much people spend in the grocery store, right? Think about all the things you spend money on, the smallest things, and then add it up for the month. They can afford $25. I promise you that. You know why? Because $25 is less than $1 per day. So it kind of, anyway, that's a whole different topic. But you have this digital product, right? Which means it being digital means you don't have any inventory to keep. It's a file on your computer that you distribute. And it being a product, meaning that you're selling it, you're trading it for currency, right? So you price it at $25, right? And let's say you get 4 people to buy it a day. 4 people to buy something a day. That's not a lot, right? You want 4 people to buy this a day, that makes you $100 a day. Do that for 30 days, you make $3,000, right? The concept is simple. Okay, but I don't know enough people to sell 4 people a day, or I don't know enough people that want my stuff, that want my product to sell 4 of these a day, right? Okay, boom, check this out. Social media is free. Go and network. The problem here is that like people want the money but don't necessarily want to do what it takes to get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not complicated. Go and network. Go organic. You know what I'm saying? Go on Twitter, talk to people, do a shameless plug, make a YouTube video, make an Instagram video. Like, all this social media is free, right? And then you can take the paid route. Do $25 a day on ads, right? $25 a day sounds like a lot. It translates to $750 a month. Now you got a $2,400 budget. So I know you damn well can afford $750 a month. So, disclaimer. You have to learn the process of advertising to people effectively. And if you don't take the time to learn that process, then you will lose more money. Okay? So, that being said, you get your strategy down on how you're going to advertise to people. Spend $25 a day on ads. Learn from them. Optimize them. Learn from those. Optimize those. Learn from those. Optimize the next ones. You're spending $25 a day to make $100 a day. That leaves you with a $75 in between that will now give you what? What's 3,000 minus 750? 2,250? You just fucking replaced the unemployment income that you're about to run out of in a couple months. Don't come at me with this bullshit. Like, I hate seeing shit like this. I hate it because it's like people don't think past the point of I can't do this, or past the point of this doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. You made a job make sense. You made sitting on unemployment make sense. Make creating income for yourself make sense. Like, don't Like, don't be that person. Don't be that person. Like you're legit just fucking you're legit just limiting your possibilities. And like that's so sad to see. Like the fact that 77,000 people support this shit, right? 77,000 people support this shit. No. Like literally, and then you have complaints of, oh, but it takes money to learn or pay somebody to know how to do ads. That's true, right? But it's also not true. You know why? Because the fucking internet that you're already on has so much free information. And then you got people selling $25 ebooks teaching you how to do this. $50 ebooks, $200 courses. You got a $2,000 budget, you better take that damn course. You're making $2,000 a month. So guess what? Month number 1, buy a $1,000 course. Month number 2, execute. Like, if people want the knowledge, they'll go out and learn it. Like, don't ever limit yourself to this doesn't make sense. Business always makes sense. The house you live in happens because of business, because it makes sense. It always makes sense. Real estate doesn't ever not make sense, right? The food you eat always makes sense. That happens because of business. You go to the store and buy it, right? The car you drive makes sense. You need to get somewhere, so here's a car, buy this, right? Make it make sense. If you think that earning income from an employer or lack thereof is the only thing that makes sense, then you need to start expanding your mindset, because I promise you, you're cutting yourself off from possibilities, and I don't want to see you waste your potential. I don't want to see it. It's in 2020, it's too available. It's being handed to you. Don't waste your potential. At least if you're gonna waste your potential, don't act like starting a business is a bad idea. Don't act like it's a dumb idea just because you wanna kick back and chill. Like, no, that's bullshit. You know it's not a bad idea, and if you don't, then you're just being oblivious. So anyway, that's my spiel for today. That was just like one of those tweets that I saw that triggered me. I was like, this shit is dumb. Like, this is really dumb. Like, really, really dumb. Like, what? Okay, like, entertain me. What else are you gonna do with this $2,400, huh? You got no other bills to pay. What are you gonna do with the $2,000? If business is a bad idea and you can't find employment, what the fuck are you gonna do with the money? I know what you're gonna do with the money. You're gonna spend it with the people that have businesses. I'm out.